Welcome to another video from EarnPED.com. I am StevieB. I have a great show planned for you guys today that is all about the wonderful number 50. So let's get right to it. I am currently crafting some metal ruds, and you might be asking, Stevie, why are you showing us crafting of metal ruds? Well, after the video I did the other day with the mining and Joda and him being an asshat, I went on a little bit of a crafting streak. I'm kind of nearing the ass end of it at the moment. And I wanted to explain all about the number 50 because it's very, very, very important when it comes to crafting. We have plenty of smack, spit, and haterade to go around, so get settled in, guys. This will be about a 15-20 minute video max. So everybody wants to craft. Obviously, it's something that we all, or almost all, want to do and don't get a chance to do very often. And the reason being is because crafting in Entropia Universe is very much different from what most of us are used to in other MMORPGs. Now, I personally have not played an MMO other than Entropia, but from what I hear, this is a much, much worse system than what is out there in other video games. So it's kind of a multifold problem. Number one, you got to have the skills. I'll pull the little system tab up here so you can see I'm really not getting very many skills at all. I do get some here and there, but for the cost of what I'm spending to get them, it's not even comparable. Then we have the blueprint problem. You want to get a high quality rating blueprint. This is something we've gone over many times before. The higher the quality rating, the better your results are going to be. But then we have the problem of even after that, the success rate just sucks. So even if you have maxed out your skills, even if you have maxed out a blueprint to QR 100, the system will tell you that you should have about a 95% chance of success. That's really a deceiving number. In fact, I think MindArc should get rid of it completely. That's just my personal opinion. So the reason that's such a deceiving number is whenever you see 95% chance of success, you think, okay, if I buy the materials and I go in and I click construct 100 times, I'm going to get 95 successes. That's not true. What ends up happening is even with a QR 100 blueprint on something you're maxed on, if you do 100 construction attempts, you're probably going to end up with somewhere in the area of like 5 to 10 fails, probably about 30 to 40 successes, and the rest are going to be near successes. So a near success on some of these blueprints can be 1 peck. A near success on some of these blueprints can be 4 ped. But they're going to be short of a success. And anytime you're getting a near success, you're almost always getting back less than the inputs. And there's certain blueprints out there that no matter what you do, you're just screwed. Damage enhancers would be a great one. If I'm making stackables like metal ruds, then as I have a success, I'm going to get metal ruds. And I might get more metal ruds if I hit a higher multiplier, right? So if I hit a 5 ped success, I might get a whole lot of metal ruds. With damage enhancers, you're only always going to get 1 damage enhancer per success. You're never going to get more than that. Anything above and beyond that on a damage enhancer is going to be returned as a residue. So if I'm making damage enhancer 2s and a success I think is 2.10 ped, and I hit a 2100 ped HOF, I'm going to get 1 damage enhancer and a whole lot of residue. I might get an opal or something in there, but the likelihood of that is next to none, even with the increased drop rates. So that said, I've noticed that the number 50 is very, very, very important when it comes to crafting. And I'm hoping this will help you guys plan your crafting sessions, or it will at least help you guys be prepared for what's going to happen in a crafting session. Maybe it might even be something that kind of deters you from a crafting session you really shouldn't do. So the thing about it is, guys, first of all, remember when MindArc puts out that 95% success number, that's over a long, long range of crafting. That might be an average over 100,000 clicks. Also, remember that they're going to count near successes and successes in that 95% success rate. So even maxed out, they're going to expect you to fail 5% of the time, and then the other 95% is going to be a mix of success and near success, with obviously near successes being vastly more than success. So that said, the number 50 is super, super important. So what I've noticed is that the blueprints you really want to click, you're only going to end up with an item about 50% of the time. So I've done this extensively over and over and over again, and it's finally kind of converged on the number 50. So let's say I want to make end user products that I'm going to sell for markup, not metal rods, not simple one conductors, end user products. Let's say I want to make damage enhancers. Let's say I want to make Armatrix LR15s, which I'm getting ready to do here in a minute. Let's say I want to make LR40s or 45s or LR10s or any of the Armatrix line of weapons. I'm going to end up with 50% as many items as I have clicks, generally speaking. So if I have a limited Armatrix blueprint that has exactly 100 clicks on it, it doesn't matter if it's for the LR10, the LR50, the LR100, whatever. What's probably going to happen 99.99999 times out of 100 is if I sit down and I click all those clicks back to back, if I've got 100 clicks on a blueprint, I expect to end up with about 50 weapons. If I've got 1,000 clicks of damage enhancers, I expect to end up with about 500 damage enhancers. That's just how it goes. So take that 95% success rate that MindArc is showing you and know that the true rate whenever you're dealing with end user products, Armatrix weapons, damage enhancers, that sort of stuff, it's really about 50%. So however many clicks you have, you're going to end up with about half that many items to sell. So I have tested this and tested this and tested this and tested this and tested this. And that's just nature of the beast. That tends to be where we converge all the time, is the glorious number 50, 50%. So I've done this over hundreds of clicks of Armatrix weapons. I've done this over thousands of clicks of damage enhancers. I have literally right now in inventory, I've got almost 1,000 damage enhancers for just damage enhancer 4. Just damage enhancer 4. That's not counting all my 1, 2, 3s, 5, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s. Just damage enhancer 4, I've got almost 1,000 damage enhancers. So I'm very, very, very well aware of what these numbers are. If I actually stopped and showed you guys the amount of Armatrix laser rifles I have in storage right now, I've probably got close to 500 weapons in storage that I'm waiting to put on auction. One of the reasons that I wait is what I tend to see when people are making stuff in Entropia, and I see this with mining too, is the moment somebody has something they can sell, they want to sell it, and they want to sell all of it. And that's because most people tie up their entire bankroll in whatever it is they're doing in that very moment. And for good reason. You have to cycle a lot of PED in order to make a profit. A lot of PED. So for good reason, a lot of people tie up a lot of stuff. But I've seen guys before that they'll go on a run and they'll make, 30 LR20s. And then they want to put 25 of them on auction. There's not that kind of demand in this game. There's demand for LR20s. There's not that kind of demand. You're not going to be able to throw your 25 that you just made in there with everybody else's and not affect the market value. If I make 1,000 damage enhancers in a day, I can't throw them all on auction the same day and expect that kind of demand to be there and them all get consumed at that high of a markup. So what I do is if I make 1,000 damage enhancers and 300 weapons, I might not sell anything for 2 months. I might slowly throw a gun on auction here, or hey, I'm getting ready to go to work, I need to throw some damage enhancers on auction here. I won't do it all at once because people do that, and I see this with mining all the time. They run out, they know something's dropping, they know it's dropping good, they get it out of the ground and then they throw it on auction, and next thing you know, you've gone from a half a page of stuff on auction with a 300% markup to now you've got like 4 pages of stuff on auction with like 150% markup, and they just destroy the markup after doing all that hard work. It makes no sense to me. But back to the basic premise of the video today, your real odds of crafting success are going to be about 50%. So that's whenever you're making end item weapons, it's whenever you're making enhancers of any type, anything that you're really going to sell as an end user product. For every 2 clicks you do, you're going to average 1 item to sell. Now, I do say average. I've done runs where I came out slightly better than that. I've done runs on 100 clicks where I ended up with, 55 items to sell. I've done runs of 100 clicks where I come out with 40 weapons to sell. But it tends to converge right at near that 50%. So the best advice I can give you guys is if you're going to make those end items like weapons, damage enhancers, whatever, do not do 1 or 2 clicks. Do 30 or 40 clicks. Do 50 or 60 clicks. Do all the clicks that you're wanting to do it at once, because if you do a click today and do a click tomorrow and do a click next week, I can't tell you what kind of results you're going to get. Maybe you get better results, maybe you get shit results. I don't know. But what I do is when I sit down, I do it all at once. I make all the items right then and there, and then I just slowly sell them off. I understand that can be a huge bankroll constraint for some people, but it comes with the added benefit of usually my runs are big enough to get me a global. And that doesn't mean it's got to be something that's, 9,000 clicks. I've hit a global on a 30-click limited blueprint for Armatrix weapons. If you look at the mining guide that Lilu has and how he talks about knowing when to go mining for a resource based off how much of it's on auction, this also applies to manufacturing as well. I did very, very well yesterday with a damage enhancer run because I knew that there was a big lack of that particular damage enhancer. So I hit 3 really good sized globals in that run. I've done runs of damage enhancers that were 5,000 clicks, and I know about how often you're going to get a 500 ped HOF on it. I know about how often you're going to get 150 ped global and how often you're going to get a 50 ped global. And for me to get 3 globals that size and that small of a run, it was strictly due to demand and consumption. The game is very, very good at balancing itself. This is also why I tell you guys, if you know for a fact that there's 9,000 LR10s on auction, maybe that's not the day you want to go make LR10s. Maybe you want to wait until there's like 10 LR10s on auction, then you want to go make some. So that plays a huge role in it too. But on average, if you just blindly go and start crafting limited items that are going to be the end-all resell items that you're going to make that markup on, generally speaking, it's going to be about a 50% success rate. Now, that said, I will give you guys a tip. Always, always, always keep plenty of residue on hand. You never know when you're going to hit that massively huge Hall of Fame when you're constructing items, right? And if we're constructing limited items, we're using residue. I'm not using residue at the moment because I'm not constructing limited items. So therefore, there's no need to make residue, or to use residue. But if I'm using limited items, I want to do it on full quantity, and I want to use residue to be sure that everyone that's spit out is full TT, because that's what I want to sell, is full TT items, right? So the problem with that is, what if you hit a HOF for like 9,000 ped? Well, I've got a very simple method for this. I always keep plenty of residue on hand. So like the run I'm about to do, I've already got like something like 6,000-7,000 ped worth of residue sitting in my storage right now, waiting on me to make these weapons. So I've got plenty of residue to fill in the TT on those weapons. So what I'll do is I'll start, I'll put it on max clicks, I'll fill in with residue, and I'll hit spin. But I don't take my eyes off the screen. I watch every single click, because as soon as I hit a HOF, I'm going to hit that stop constructing button. Reason being is, regardless of what happens with that HOF, I need to reevaluate. If I hit a 9,000 ped HOF making weapons, maybe 8,950 ped of it is residue, and maybe 50 ped is a weapon. Maybe I get some opal, some emeralds, some garnets, whatever. But I'm going to need to reevaluate. Or maybe I get super lucky and that HOF spits out 100 full TT weapons, and now I just used all my residue. Well, if that's the case, I don't want to keep constructing. I don't want to keep going. So the moment I hit that HOF, I'm going to hit that stop construct button to reevaluate. Do I have residue left? Do I need to make more weapons? Did I get a lot more residue all of a sudden? What just happened? And I'm going to reevaluate. I'm not going to waste 8, 9, 10, 50, 60, 70, however many clicks it is of a blueprint if I have no residue left. I'm also not going to go out and get 30,000 PED worth of residue and have it on hand, hoping I hit a huge HOF and hoping it fills it all in with weapons. You know what? If I hit a 20,000 PED Hall of Fame, holy crap, 44.58 PED on metal ruds. Very nice. Almost global on metal ruds. That's impressive. If I hit a 30,000 PED all-time high while making weapons that have a TT value of 50 PED each, and I've only got 6, 7, 8,000 residue on hand, I'm not going to worry about the rest of it. Even if it was all weapons and it spits them out at partial TT, yeah, that would really suck. In that case, I'd probably just burn through them or sell them at a small discount because they're below full TT. I could still sell them, right? They would still have that value even if it wasn't the full markup. I could still move them. So I'm not going to go out and do that. I know there's people out there that never craft with less than, some 30, 40, 50,000 PED of residue on hand. I'm not that guy, personally. So that being said, guys, I wanted you guys to know the reality from somebody who has done it many, many thousands of times, who has spent hundreds and hundreds. Honestly, I've probably spent over $10,000 crafting at this point. Now that's cycle. That's not losses. That's not profit. That's just cycled. But easily $10,000 crafting at this point. From somebody who has done it, from somebody who has max skills and has very, very, very high quality rating blueprints. Hey, another 34.34 PED on metal ruds. That's something else, guys. When you see two really good minis like that back to back, keep going. I'm not going to magically stop making metal ruds because I just hit two really good minis back to back. This is when I want to keep going because for some reason I just hit two really good minis back to back. Those have to be pretty high multipliers on something like metal ruds. So I'm going to see if it spits out something really nice. Maybe a small global, or maybe even a really, really small baby HOF. And you guys will see this as you do more crafting. Sometimes you can tell when you're about to global and when you're about to HOF. Not always. But like if I'm going through it, my success rate is like 1.2 PED. And I haven't really hit anything spectacular. And then all of a sudden I hit a 30 PED. And then a few clicks later I hit a 30 PED. Sometimes right after that you can hit like 150 PED. Something like that. So you kind of get a feel for it. Maybe I'm not going to hit anything. Maybe it was just two babies, but we'll see. But from somebody who's done this for a long time, I get new players all the time, even experienced players. They say, well, I've got a max QR blueprint. I've got max skills. I should have a 95% success rate. No, that 95% success rate, that is 95% mixed near successes and successes with 5 faileds out of 100. And if your quality rating is less than 100%, or if your skills are less than max, you're going to be less than that 95%. So the reality of the beast is, if you're wanting to know how many end items you're going to have to sell with max skills, with max quality rating blueprint, and remember, limited blueprints act as max quality blueprints, the answer is probably one item for every 2 clicks you do. That's probably going to be more or less where you're going to come out to long term. This also explains some of the markups we see. When you look at damage enhancers, you see markups of 350 to 450%. Think about that for a second. We've got to have pyrite, which has a 2 to 300% markup at the moment. We've got to have output amplifiers, which have anywhere from 115 to 200% markup, depending on the time of year. We've also got to have other crap like Nova fragments and socket components. And then you've got to have the empty enhancer component from the TT, which costs a PED. So each click is costing you 1 PED, just an empty enhancer component. And then you've got to have the pyrite, the markup on it, the output amplifier, the markup on it, and all the other crap to go with it. So for every 2 clicks that we have with damage enhancers, again, max skills, max quality rating blueprint, we're going to get 1 damage enhancer. Each damage enhancer is worth 2.1 PED. So I'm spending 1 PED per click just on the empty enhancer component, just on that. So for both clicks together, that's 2 PED. So there's pretty much the TT value of my damage enhancer is right there eaten away in just the empty enhancer components. Everything else that goes into it, the pyrite, the TT value on everything else in it, the markup on all the other stuff in it, That's why, in order for damage enhancers to be constructed, the markup almost has to be near 400%, if not better. Because by the time you're done making it, you're spending so much per click, and you only get a success 1 out of every 2 clicks, it would just make no sense. Pretty much at a 200 to 250% markup, most players would be losing money making damage enhancers. Most players are probably break even making damage enhancers around the 300 to 325% range. So really, if damage enhancers are anywhere below 350 by the time you add in auction fees, they're not even worth making. If they're below 350% markup by the time you add in auction fees, and depending on how you source your materials too, that's a big part of it. Below 350%, you might as well not even bother with making damage enhancers. So guys, this has been my down and dirty guide, just real quickly, to why 50% is the magic number when it comes to crafting. I don't know why MindArc has it set up that way. I couldn't tell you. They don't ask me why they do the things they do. They don't explain to me why they do the things they do. But that's just kind of how it is. If you guys have had substantially different results, feel free to let me know. Again, remember, I'm talking about end user items only. I'm not talking about stackables. I'm not talking about stuff like simple one conductors and metal rods that is going to be used in manufacturing other items. I'm talking strictly end user items. Armatrix weapons, damage enhancers, range enhancers, depth enhancers, economy enhancers, stuff like that. Anything enhancer related or end user weapon related that's limited. Not unlimited Jester D1s, limited items only. But guys, I hope this helps you better prepare for your crafting runs. I hope maybe it helps you know in advance what to expect as an outcome of your crafting runs. And most importantly, if you can't make money only having one item for every 2 clicks, I hope you just stay away from it completely, because crafting has caused more people to quit this game than anything else. You can have a bad mining run and not quit. You can have a bad hunting run and not quit. A lot of people, one bad crafting run and their career in EU is over. So guys, I hope this has been very, very, very informative. I hope you go into your crafting a little bit more knowledgeable and knowing what to expect. I've been StevieB with EarnPED.com. Remember, EarnPED.com. When you earn, we earn. That's the best way to support us. We are still paying 50% more for hideout points at the moment. We did that to celebrate hitting 1,000 Stevies. We're going to continue it. We have no plans to turn that off. I had somebody redeem over 9,000 hideout points last night, so big shout out to Jess on that one. Thank you, Jesse. Much, much, much appreciated. Also, remember, that's 50% more than our competitors are paying. If our competitors decide they want to match that 50%, that's fine. We'll just turn the juice up even more. We do this for the love of the game. We're still getting tons of PMs from people who are coming to the game for the first time because of the videos, people who are coming back to the game because of the videos, and people who are learning and earning and playing the game smarter because of the videos, and that's what we'd like to see. So guys, with EarnPED.com, I've been StevieB. We'll see you with more great content really soon. Till then, take care, smack sap, sip sip, and fuck the haters. Take care, guys.